Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a quick video on the Ford AOD transmission TV cable adjustment. This is just the adjustment and a small tutorial. It's not an installation, but I will show you what I did since I have this all set up. I put a 302 in my 49 Mercury coupe, and because I didn't want to wait, and sometimes cheap, I built myself my own bracket. I used images to figure out where the TV cable location is on the brackets that you purchase, and determined it's right here. This is another bracket I kind of modified. The throttle cable is not on right now. It is off. It comes off with the removable floor, which really doesn't apply to anything right now. Anyway, so what I have is I have the low-car TV cable kit, and I have it installed on the transmission, as you can see, and I will show you. There is a spring that is a factory spring which goes over the cable, but it's really not a very good return spring, and that's been said many times online. So I'll show you what I did for an extra return spring. I did have to buy this little clip here. So the other thing is, I got the transmission with the cable in a deal with a friend, but I did not get the adjuster piece that goes in here for adjusting the cable for its pressure. It's a very pressure sensitive. You need to set it up right, or you will blow the transmission up within a mile or two down the road. Okay, so what I did was I called Low-Car, and they told me that the spacer that you use in here, the tool, is 0.275 in diameter. So I took a wooden dowel, drilled a hole in it, cut a slot in it, and then I cut it at 275. So when you install it, you pull. So you have the cable so it has just very light pressure on here when the cable's kind of like at relaxed mode. So now you got to pull the cable out. You put this on that spacer. It's usually a billet piece of aluminum that slides in there real nice, but I cannot find one. I didn't really ask Low-Car. Like I said, it's and the couple websites I saw, it says not available. So anyway, what you want to do is you want to have the TV pressure in idle or in neutral, around 30 to 35 psi, with this placed in here. So inside the car, I have the cover off the transmission. You will see there's a bolt here, or a port, screw here, or pipe fitting, sorry. There's one here, and then there's one up ahead. It's the second from the back. So what I did was I screwed in an 1/8 inch pipe thread, and I used just an odometer gauge I had on the shelf to read the pressure accurately. Okay, so let me get this started up, and then I will show you the pressure in neutral where it's supposed to be. Okay, so it's right around 35 psi. We're in neutral. Now, when you pull the fixture off, supposed to be at 0 psi, or close to 0 as you could get. Ugh. So now it's at 0. That is how you know your TV cable's adjusted correct. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the return spring. What I actually did was I got a low tension spring. I hooked it on the arm. Then I got a little creative. I needed a little piece 90 degree here. This was actually from a wire loom small block Chevy kit that screws down to the valve cover. And it's got a hole, so I drilled it for a 1032 bolt. It fit perfectly on this rear bolt here, and it has just the perfect amount of pressure to pull that back. Because with that spring from Locar, it doesn't pull it all the way back, and you'll have residual pressure where it needs to be at 0. So there's a lot of people who run extra springs, and they run them all different ways. And I found this was the easiest. I had all the parts, and it worked out good. So hopefully the video worked out for you. And oh, one last thing. After you set, so this was a perfect world. Everything worked out great for me. Now, non-perfect world, this is your initial adjustment you want to just keep. I put an extra deal on here because I was afraid it was going to move because I lost one of the set screws. There's 2 for this cable. Now, the second adjustment is this cable here, which will become now your fine tuning. So if you set this all up and your pressure's too low, okay, you're going to want to bring this point outward so you could give a little bit more pressure, okay? So your pressure will rise. If it's too high, you want to go in. So use this as your fine tuning here, and everything should work fine. So this was just a baseline setup, but it worked out. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully this helps you out. There is other videos out there on cable setup. Fortunately, I'm not going to have one because this came on the car, or on the engine transmission, sorry, and that's all I'm going to have for you. But this is the most critical thing. So if you have AOD, you got to make sure that you run a pressure gauge on there for the initial setup. Once it's set up, it shouldn't move. You could take that pressure gauge off because you won't need that anymore. All right, thanks for watching. Sorry for all the wind noise. I'm in the middle of the desert here. It's windy as heck. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.